But now it's back to the budget and we're asking, does the smoking tax go far enough? Now, Rachel Reeves has announced an immediate 2% increase on tobacco and a 10% rise on hand-rolled tobacco. She also said that there will be an increase in a year's time, roughly working out as an extra £2.20 per 100 cigarettes. Britain's 6 million smokers will be hit by this, obviously. Now, the Chancellor says it's an incentive for people to quit, but does it go far enough? Or if you're a smoker, do you think that you're being unfairly targeted, perhaps? 0207 862 2222 is the number for your view on this. We'd love to hear from you, smoker or not. Tim, what's your thoughts on this? Is this a good move?
Well, I think the average packet of 20 cigarettes now costs about £16. Now, I don't like smoking. It's never been attractive to me. But, you know, there are those 6 million people who like to smoke. And at the moment, the amount of tax they pay on their cigarettes more than pays for any funding, treatment they get from the NHS. So basically what we're doing, if they're willing to pay £16 for their packet of cigarettes, they'll pay £17, £18 mostly. And so what the government is doing, this isn't really an anti-smoking message. This is just to tax people more.
Well, you said that it's not.
I just think smokers are paying enough now. Leave them alone. I'm not a smoker, but I think they're just being walloped here by the Treasury, and they already pay their fair share.
OK, but then you said already they would pay £18. It's already £16. They'd probably pay £18. So aren't we just squeezing them for the extra that they would...
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're squeezing them. And is that fair when they already are paying for more than their health care because of the taxes already paid? They're clobbing in lots of ways. We frown on smoking now as a society for lots of good reasons. But they've chosen to do this. And ultimately, I think that's their free choice. And I don't understand at the moment. We seem to be more and more liberal about cannabis, for example, in society, and harder on tobacco. There's a lack of fairness, I think, now towards the traditional smoker.
Are we just squeezing people for deciding to smoke?
OK, I didn't actually know how much cigarettes cost because I don't smoke. I am amazed anyone can afford that habit.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Absolutely crazy.
And part of the interesting thing about this budget is, and I know you say it's not anti-smoking, but a lot of people I know that smoke actually smoke the roll-ups because they're cheaper, and that's getting clobbered even more than the cigarettes.
Yeah.
So it does feel a little bit like they're just saying no tobacco. Yeah, whatever shape.
Well, Rishi Sunak famously wanted to get rid of smoking altogether to make it, illegal from a certain age. Now, in a hypothetical ideal world, nobody would smoke. I mean, I know that people love it, and you can ring and have a go at me and go, "It's my habit," but it's not doing you any good. Sorry to say, it just isn't.
But some of us drink. We all have vices of some kind or other.
Of course. Don't ask me what mine are. Of course.
I'm so tempted now. So tempted.
Got to make something interesting up. Yeah, and of course, and I do get that, but I've got to say I'm also quite pleased that my kids don't smoke. Some of their friends do, and I look at their young lungs inhaling this thing, and I just think, what a shame. And vapes, I don't know. Call me old-fashioned. We don't know what they do yet. And I do agree that obviously if you're a big smoker, that going to a vape is, they say, preferable. Yeah. You're still inhaling stuff into your lungs. Yeah. And the people I know who vape, it's never out their hand. Never out their hand. It becomes this habit. And so I find the whole thing fairly dangerous. So, look, it's not the thing that has woken me up this morning going, oh, there's more tax on cigarettes. If I'm honest, I feel like there are more important parts of this budget. It is a habit. It's bad for you.
OK, but if you had to fall on one team, are Labour trying to stop people from smoking?
Yeah.
Or are Labour just squeezing smokers for their addiction to put more money in the coffers?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
And I think you say about the cost being covered to the NHS, I would like to see the stats on that because I wonder whether it does offset it.
So I believe
in terms of emphysema, lung cancer.
Very briefly before I came on air, 8.8 billion a year on average is raised in tax for smokers, and they cost the NHS 2.6 billion.
So about
6 billion of tax money goes straight into the government.
Right.
That would be, if everyone stopped smoking tomorrow, that'd be 6 billion that the Labour government would then have to find somewhere else.
But today there may be a handful of people, this is now my idealistic hat on, who might go, I'm giving up. It's just tipped me over the edge now. That is extortionate.
There'll be a few like that.
Well, let's find out. Melanie from Manchester, are you a smoker by any chance?
I am, yes, I am, Storm.
What do you think about the budget then?
Well, I'm not surprised it's gone up because it goes up every time. And, you know, I am in agreement that, yeah, we do cost the NHS a lot of money. But like you've just said, which was going to be my point exactly, was what would they do without the 6 million? Where are they going to get that
Melanie,
from?
not million.
Billion,
It's not
sorry,
smokers, 6
billion.
million
Yes,
smokers,
billion. You know, I've always thought that. And I think alcohol ruins far more lives than smoking ever could. It's not, I don't go out brawling or hitting somebody or domestic violence because I've had a cigarette.
It's a very interesting...
This upsets, annoys me. You know, that smokers are always the ones, and we're not looking at the problem of alcohol more.
Yeah, I mean, tax has gone up on alcohol. It's just a 1p decrease on, I don't know whether it's a pint, but draft beer. And basically what they're trying to do is get people out of their house drinking into pubs, which may sociably be a good thing
I understand that. Make soft drinks cheaper.
Well, soft drinks is another worry, isn't it? Because that's full of sugar and we've got an obesity problem. When we're talking about the strain on the NHS, I'm afraid alcohol and smoking have nothing on our obesity crisis. That is the thing that is crippling our NHS. So actually, Melanie, if they want to make us a healthier nation, maybe they should be putting a sugar tax on things or a fat tax on things.
And maybe they should be legalising cannabis and getting tax duty on that and making it safer so that it's not laced with psychedelics. And, you know, they've done it in other countries and they've actually proven then the money isn't going to drug dealers.
Well, the problem that they have actually with increasing the tax on cigarettes, and I was wondering if a smoker was going to call up and talk about this, is the more they increase the price of cigarettes in this country, the more people are going to get cigarettes on the black market. And when I'm saying that, I'm saying abroad. I had no idea how large this industry is. That's quite dangerous because we don't know what's in these cigarettes. Already they're laced with all sorts of things that are making us ill.
Up until 2 years ago, I was never offered drugs or anything. I sort of felt like I'm sort of slightly embarrassed. Why don't I look cool enough to be offered drugs? But actually,
what happened 2 years ago?
Well, a couple of years ago, I was offered under a counter illegal cigarettes.
Oh.
And since then, it's happened to me quite often. I live in Salisbury in the west of England, and I think exactly what you're talking about. Because cigarettes have become so pricey now in the normal market, the black market is filling Britain. You know, the number of illegal cigarettes coming into this country is huge. And that problem's only going to get worse now. So
well, we could end up with the similar problem that we already have with cannabis, with cigarettes. Who knows? I don't know at all. But Melanie, thank you very much for your call. We are going to move on now. I want your